Hey, y'all, we have a very special episode today. So, over the past few months, I have been connecting with two girls from Gaza, from Palestine, Sally and Aseel. And we've honestly become friends, and we are a support group for each other, which I think is beautiful. And I wanted y'all to hear their stories. And helping me interview them is my friend Andrea from the Wander Working podcast, who I truly don't think I could have done this interview without her. She did an incredible job interviewing them, creating space for them, and I really thank you, Andrea, for that. So, both of these girls, Sally and Aseel, are currently in cramped one-bedroom rooms with dozens of other people with a lack of water, food, electricity, but yet they found a place to pay for Wi-Fi to connect and interview with us. So, I'm just grateful in general that they were able to connect with us. And I'm just giving you a little forewarning that the audio isn't perfect, but we are blessed that they were able to talk to us. So, who is Sally and who is Aseel? They are two girls that have reached out to me through my DMs and they actually know each other, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, who are they? So, Aseel was an aspiring dentist before this genocide. She was actually in her last year of graduation. She's also an artist and she sold a lot of her artwork out to her friends. Since the genocide, she has lost 13 members of her family. Actually, let that sink in. 13 members. Can you visualize 13 people in your family in general right now? Or 13 of your friends, or neighbors? Imagine all those people that you love just taken from this life and brutally murdered. That's her story. She has lost that many members of her family, and yet she still stands strong. The rest of her family, I think she said about 30 of them, are currently living in tents, and she's very lucky right now to be living in that one bedroom room with a dozen of her family members because, as I'm sure you've been seeing on the Instagram, a lot of people in Gaza are now living in tents. She still keeps her mind going and studies for her dentistry and is hoping to leave her homeland, exit to Egypt, and continue her studies in her graduation of dentistry when the occupiers Israel decide to open the borders.
We need like $100,000 to get
Mhm.
out from Gaza. I can't call it war, it's genocide.
And then who is Sally?
My life before October the 7th, it's just like any other girl life. I used to go to college, hanging out with my friends, go to the cinema, go to the gym, having a dinner with my family. But after October the 7th happened, the rays fell out of our world. They bombed our college, they bombed our schools, my brother's schools. So everything in Gaza completely destroyed. But I hope that everything will be better soon.
She explains throughout this episode that all of her homes have been bombed now. She is currently in a refugee camp, also in a very tiny room with dozens of people with no electricity or clean water. She actually has recently contracted a disease, and I checked in about that. Thankfully, she does have a doctor that is helping her with that. But she's also in a very similar situation as Aseel, where they just in cramped spaces with dozens of people, just none of the basics. So, with all that said, I'm so glad that they were able to find the money and find the space and time to connect with us and find Wi-Fi. I'm really excited to tell y'all their stories and for y'all just to actually get to meet them because all we see is this stuff on the news, which is extremely inaccurate. And you're not actually getting to see the actual real people on the ground affected by this. And I know this is heavy. And if you have been following the Palestinian crisis for years, you know how much it can weigh on you. It really weighs on me. But for right now, let's put things aside and let's just tune in and focus on these two girls' stories, Sally and Aseel, who fight every day to survive in their own homeland. These two girls who are very proud to be Palestinian. And let's put away our egos, our political beliefs, and just things that we have consumed in the past year. And let's just listen to their stories with open hearts and open ears. So my first question is more fun, but if you were a color, what color describes you? And you can say this color in Arabic or in English, whatever.
I feel like I have a huge heart full of dreams, and even there is a lot of nightmare. I live it before here in Gaza, but still I have a huge dream. How the key is so huge.
Mm.
I feel like blue is the color to describe me.
Yeah, I love that because y'all are right next to the ocean and like I feel like the ocean's a big part of your culture,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're blue. You said blue green, right? I think Aseel, you said you were blue green. And then Sally, what color describes you?
Uh, I think I really love pink. I really love pink. I think it's a very girly and beautiful color. All my clothes and all my stuff are in pink, actually.
I love that. Feel like Sally's Marie and I'm more like Aseel because my
Yes.
favorite color is blue.
I love pink. People always hate on pink, but pink is a great color. But I also love that Aseel blue is your favorite color because of the ocean and it's like
Mhm.
all Palestine is such a all about the water. If you could describe Palestine in your eyes, in your words, what would these words be? And these words can be in Arabic if you could just let us know what these Arabic words mean. But how would you describe Palestine to you?
Freedom, first of all. Every single letter in Palestine can describe the word of freedom. And I think my favorite thing about Palestine is food, actually. When I hear the word Palestine, the first thing come in my mind is delicious food, beautiful nature. This what comes to my mind when I read the word Palestine.
What's your favorite food? Because I love Palestinian food, but what's your favorite?
Yeah, yeah, we have a very popular dish called makluba. It's a very delicious mix between the rice, the meat, the eggplant. We put it, how can I say? It's a very delicious mix. So we put it upside and down in a very large, like planet or thing like that, and just enjoy it. It's a very, very, very delicious meal. You need to try it.
Is that the one where y'all flip it at the parties?
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's it.
Wait, have you flipped it before? Because I feel like that would be so nerve-wracking to flip the whole pot. Has anyone ever messed it up?
Actually, my father did. And my mom gets really angry because she put a lot of effort on it.
Oh my gosh. Imagine cooking for hours and then someone messes up the flip.
So weak. Oh my gosh. That gives me anxiety, but I do want to try it because then it's even more special if the pot gets flipped over and everyone's like, yeah. Oh my gosh. Seal, my question is, how would you describe Palestine to you?
I can describe it like uh, so free and strong, even though it's so occupied. You feel like strong a mountain of stones that will not go away.
Mm.
You guys are very resilient for everything that's going on, and you still can, chat with us and laugh and tell us about yourself. And I hope that this reaches everybody so that they know, like, these are real people. This is what's going on.
We have to do that.
Yeah.
I was wondering, like, how are you guys coping? How do you cope throughout the day and cope throughout everything? What helps you in your mind?
I think what makes us strong is we believe that after all that hard days and all that hard time, everything will be better. People here in Palestine support each other. Like when you go on the street, you will see all the people talk like, we are strong, we can do it, and we will do it. How we stand with each other and take care of each other give us the really power to continue. And actually hearing you guys talking about us, talking about what happened in Palestine, give us the courage to continue, make us feel that we are not alone. We have a lot of people support us and stand with us. So it's a very big part of how we get strong.
Mm. So interesting is like it doesn't matter how any government tries to squash a culture, you can't you can't destroy a culture. You can't. Like even generations from now, like the love will still
Exactly.
prevail. That's beautiful.
I think I was really lucky because me and Sally were on the phone yesterday, and she had mentioned that one of the things that had given her hope was to see that there was people protesting for Palestine in the universities, because I'm sure at one point she felt like the world didn't care, but to see these students who were probably also either getting arrested for protesting or dropping their classes, which are thousands and thousands of dollars, all in the name of Palestine, gave her hope that people still care about what's going on over there. And that kind of made my day because sometimes when you are protesting these things, you feel like, oh, well, I'm protesting, but I don't really see a difference. The governments are still doing whatever they want, but to someone on the other side of the world who needs to have that hope, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, that's right.
And I just want to say, like, on my end, I don't know anyone personally who doesn't support Palestine, who doesn't support the livelihood and the beauty of your culture. We are not our governments. I just want to say that. And I think overall, like, our country will, there's also some changes, I'll say. I'll say it that way. But Aseel, how do you cope? How do you help with your mental health?
My answer is the same as Sally answered. We support each other here in Gaza, and your support for us is the that you cannot imagine, guys. When we open social media and see what you are doing, or your reels, your videos, and even your little word from you, we feel like proud of you. We feel like we aren't alone. We have a lot of people care about us, and this is the only thing that supports us. In fact.
The whole world cares. The entire world cares, except for a few evil people at the top. A few people out of the entire world. That's something.
It's crazy that just a few people get to make such big decisions and it impacts thousands and thousands of lives. I think now more than ever is when people do need to come together, because if we don't, then those few people at the top will continue to make the decisions for us. So I think sharing talks like this with people who are actually experiencing the results of these decisions is so impactful. And that's why I'm so grateful you guys are here chatting with us. I have a couple questions of my own because we want to get to know you as people too. And I don't know if Sally or Aseel wants to go first, but I wanted to ask you more about your lives and what were your dreams? What were your aspirations? Where were you living before all of this happened?
You said what I dreamed before this genocide, yeah? First of all, my age is 20 years old, and I live in Tel El Hawa, the north of Gaza. And we have another home in Wadi Gaza. Wadi Gaza is the point that connects the north with the south. We have another home there with my uncles, and they were 30 homes. But basically, we live in north of the Gaza. We live south of Gaza, Wadi Gaza, and live in the north of Gaza. This is before the war. But after the genocide happened, we moved to the south in Wadi Gaza and to our old home for 50 days. Then they bombed us. They shot fire to my mom, and we ran away to Al-Wusta camp in Deir al-Balah.
Mm.
And we are there from, I think, 90 December, لا, the 19th of December. Yeah,
So
from this day.
as of right now, your family currently that is still with you is your mom, did she pass? Is it just you, your dad, and your sisters?
We are together. But actually, we lost 13 members of my family. My grandfather, my grandmother, my uncle, I, and his child, Abdulaziz, his wife, uh, my another uncle, عمي Abu Ra'fat's wife, and his son, with a huge number of his family. And my uncle, Abu Walid, they killed him before 4 months ago.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, Aseel. It's really heartbreaking to hear. But from what I saw on your videos you were posting as well before the genocide, you also had many aspirations. You were going to school, I believe, for something
Yeah, dental
around
school.
dentistry, right? You're going to dentistry
Yeah,
school.
supposed to be in my graduation year. I was excited a lot for it, but this is what happened. The genocide killed our dreams, our life, our homes, our relatives, our family. Before the war, I dreamed a lot to become a famous dentist and international artist. I love art a lot. I have my own business about art. I draw a lot on Canva and in pubs and sell them to my friends. But after that, I lost all of these things. I lost my books, my literacy tools, my university, and my college, and my also my friends. Like we are scattered, every one of us in different places. Some of them in Egypt, some of them in Australia, some of them in Rafah, some of them in the north of Gaza, some of them like me in the Wusta camp. We didn't imagine one day that we will lose life like this. I'm talking about losing every single thing, every single thing.
Yeah, I remember you had sent me a picture of you with your classmates, the last picture you
Yeah,
took at your school before everything happened. And
actually, a lot of my colleges were killed. A lot of them are display. A lot of them, I didn't see them from a long time ago. I didn't imagine this happened. Never, ever. I miss them a lot.
I'm
I
so
wish one day.
sorry.
Okay, Aseel,
And
everything will be better.
Yeah.
so I hope, I hope,
No, please don't cry. You'll make me cry too.
I can't.
That's totally fine, Aseel. You cry if you need to, because you know what? The things that are happening, we're here to support you.
So
We're-
difficult. It's so difficult.
I think about you too a lot, in my day-to-day life and everything you go to. You guys being actually quite a bit younger than me and still having to face the challenges that you do today. And to see that you had so
Yeah.
much like hopes and aspirations. Honestly, I pray every day that you can continue your school and that one day you will get out of this situation. You will graduate, you will be an amazing dentist, and I can hopefully one day see your artwork because I saw some videos that you were posting from before and it was wonderful.
Thank you, Lord.
Sorry if I'm like been quiet. I just am like taking in the information. I'm not best with my words. And so I want to make sure like y'all know that I'm not just, I feel so much for y'all. And I'm really thankful for like our friendship that we've been developed. And I feel blessed that y'all have reached out, and there's a reason y'all reached out, and there's a reason I opened the message. And I don't know. I feel for y'all, and y'all are so freaking strong. I don't even know I think that's just all I can really say. Y'all are so strong, and y'all bring so much beauty and light to the day.
So I guess I'll ask the same question now to Sally about how was your life before? What were you doing? What were your aspirations? Because I want them to get to know you as well, Sally.
Okay. Let's go from the beginning. My full name is Sally Samir Hashir. I'm a Palestinian girl from Gaza, we're students, and I'm a daughter in a family of 7 members. Me with my siblings born and raised in Gaza. Our entire life was in Gaza, so we know almost everything about the city. We used to have 3 houses. 2 of them was in Al Bureij refugee camp, and one of them was in Al Zahra city. All of them completely destroyed. So you can call us homeless now. We don't have any place to go. After our 2 houses in Albury refugee camp bombed, forced to move to Deir el Balah city refugee camp. No, not city. It's a refugee camp. I'm sorry. At the moment, we are living in our house. Actually, it's just a very tiny room with no clean water, no healthy food, no electricity. So the situation here is really catastrophic, actually. My life before October the 7th, it's just like any other girl life. I used to go to college, hanging out with my friends, go to the cinema, go to the gym, having a dinner with my family. But after October the 7th happened, the rays fell out of our world. They bombed our college, they bombed our schools, my brother's schools. So everything in Gaza completely destroyed. But I hope that everything will be better soon. I didn't lose any one of my family members, thanks God. I hope in the future I don't lose any one of them because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. But what we hope now is just to evacuate us from Gaza. This is our biggest dream at the moment. And I think Asir believe this thing too.
Yes. talking with you both separately, you both kind of made me understand that right now you feel like you can't continue where you are and you want to continue and start your life over somewhere else, which is totally understandable. You guys had amazing futures in front of you. I was actually surprised when I was able to chat with you how modest you were about your English, but your English is amazing. She's a English communication major, by the way, everyone. So she was telling me also as well, she did her freelance work before everything happened. Of course, now without a laptop, it's a little bit difficult to do these kinds of jobs. But when you are able to leave Palestine and start somewhere new, what would you like to do?
Of course, the first thing to complete my education, have a scholarship. I don't know where, but I think I would like to have a scholarship in Qatar because I believe that Qatar education is really strong. Because I told you that our college is completely destroyed here in Gaza. Also, if we get out from Gaza, we will have, of course, a better chances at work, at having a better houses, having a better style of life, you know?
I love that you both are so education oriented and you really have like these very bold pursuits in life to continue and to get an education and get a career. That's really admirable from the both of you. So I guess I'll move on to the next question, which you've already told me a little bit about what is happening in Gaza and the West Bank. You both are currently in Gaza. Could you tell me in your own words the background of what happened on October 7th? Because I feel like we get a lot of misinformation on the news. We have the story told through other people's eyes. So, in your words, can you tell me what exactly happened?
Okay, a lot of people think that, and also the media tells you that this conflict starts on October the 7th, but the real story is way, way longer than it actually. And I think you may not know that in 2014, in 2021, and in 2022, there was a war in Gaza actually, and in each one of them, there was more than 1,000 people killed, and they were civilians actually. So the real story started on 1948 when a Zionist gangs who came from different spots in this world, like from England, Russia, Poland, came to Palestine and start attacking the Palestinian people, burn their village to force them to leave their land and go away from Palestine, actually, to have the full control on it. So I think what we witnessed today is merely an extension of a long-term war between the right and the wrong.
So, this has been going on for a while. I remember even watching videos about the conflict from 2019, and I rewatched those videos just yesterday, and it's crazy how much the situation has progressed, but this has been a building tension for a very, very, very long time. Seal, I
Yeah.
don't know if you have anything to say in your own words about what happened on October 7th and what is going on right now.
Yeah, it didn't begin on the 7th of October. It began from 1948
Mhm.
when they Israel occupied us, when they killed us. This happened for my grandfather and my grandmother, and they took their land, and they did a lot of awful things all these years. There is no one know about what they did for us. They did a lot of awful things. They killed children, women, elderly. They didn't have any humanity. They took your land and said to you, go away. This is for us. The matter didn't begin from the 7th of October. Our fighters in the 7th of October, they replied to them and they entered our land that Israel took from us. So Israel took the chance. They made this for us, but actually they are began from 1948. I can't call it war. It's genocide.
Yes, because it is very one-sided. Again, I have been following the situation only since 2019, so you say it started way before that, but from when I started to follow the situation, at least from what I was watching in the West Bank, they had already moved a lot of Palestinians out of their lands into separate neighborhoods. They had built a wall, and then people from the Palestinian side could not really go into the Israeli side. They had set up checkpoints, and the city was quite divided over there, and people couldn't go back and forth so easily. Maybe if you were Israeli, you could get around a little bit easier. And I even saw some Americans getting around a lot easier than the Palestinians through the checkpoints. But if you are Palestinian, to cross the city was almost impossible.
Yeah. What you're saying is right, actually.
It's crazy in my eyes how a foreigner who has no connection to the land can get around so easily, but someone who has been living there for generations could not just cross the city very easily. You have to go through a million checkpoints, or you have to go around, and if you approach the wall, you might get shot if they don't like how close you're getting.
What's that like for y'all when y'all tried to go through the wall? Like, could you ever cross through the wall?
No, actually, the wall is on the West Bank. We are in Gaza. We have Rafah crossing. We have
Rafah crossing. Okay.
also, you have to get in Rafah crossing. You have to get a lot of permissions. You have to get a permission from Egypt, from Israel, from Palestine.
What?
After you get all those permission accepted, you can go out and you pay between 200 to 350, I think, to go throughout the Rafah crossing.
What? Wow.
It's so frustrating not to be able to move around freely. And it does make you think, especially for people like me and Marie, who are fortunate enough to have a passport that allows us to go most places in the world, how lucky we are, because people in Palestine, even in their own home, they can't move around freely. So that's really frustrating to hear that that is the situation for you. And it has been for many, many years. Aside from the conditions of moving around, can you tell me a little bit more about the conditions of where you're staying right now? I know, Sally, you told me you have a room that you have with your family, but you do have cousins who are still living in the camps and in tents. Can you tell me more about your conditions, their conditions in terms of food, water, safety, shelter, weather? Tell me everything about that so people can understand what you're dealing with day to day.
At the moment, we are living in our friend's house, in a very tiny room in our friend's house, with no clean water, no healthy food, no electricity. The prices outside in the market is really, really expensive, so we cannot afford all the things we want. The internet connection also is really bad here. We have to pay a lot of money just to get a good internet connection. So we are getting broke soon.
Okay. So if people were to donate to you, they could help with, obviously the Wi-Fi connection is so important. That's how you can communicate with others. And then it could help you just getting like the really expensive food and water. Like if people donate to you, like that's what you're able to access, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sad. Actually, I'm really sad to say that, but the Palestinian people in Gaza really need a financial support.
Yes. Yes.
They need this financial support directly. We don't want you to go to some people and told them we need to support the Palestinian and to make this long process. Just they open a GoFundMe link and start this campaigns to get this money direct. You know what I mean, right?
Yes. So you're saying instead of donating to big charities, donate directly to Palestinians.
Yes.
Charities, I don't know if you ever see it because I've donated to both. And I know you said the other day you actually got access. I think you said it to a banana. It was like some fruit, and it was like
yeah. It was taste heavenly after 7 months.
Oh my gosh. I bet. Like, what are you eating throughout the day? What do you have access to?
Actually, we depend on beans, just beans and a little bit protein stuff like meat, some chicken. It's really expensive, but we need to buy it.
No, for sure. For sure. So yeah, it seems like if anyone who's listening, like when we're gonna absolutely like have your GoFundMe links in the chat. I think just even giving anything like can always, you have no idea how that can help y'all. Like just get like food and water and just even like long-term goals to get y'all out of Gaza. Like I think Aseel was saying you need $5,000 to leave.
And is this per person or per family, do you think?
£5,000 per person.
And this amount to get out from Gaza to Egypt in 1 month. To get out from Gaza to Egypt in 3 days, you have to pay $11,000 to Egyptian government
Wow.
per person. You imagine this? We are 9 person. So
Wow.
we have to pay to Egyptian government more than one $100,000.
I see. I see.
Do you
That is
So
imagine
you
this?
need to get the Israeli inside permission.
I can't I can't tell. I'm so angry from this.
No, you should be angry.
I can't explain this for every person. We need like $100,000 to get
Mhm.
out from Gaza.
Wow.
mm,
Just
That's a
to
ro-
get out, not to live out from
Yeah, to
Gaza.
get
Just to
out.
get out from Gaza, you need this.
Yeah, to just cross the Rafah crossing, just
I
and see
see.
Egypt by your eyes. Just you have to pay this amount.
Wow. Well,
not to mention that you have to buy food every day to eat. Aseel, your family members, I believe you're 9 total, and Sally, it's you, your sisters, your mom, and your dad. So that's 5 or
7.
6 people, 7 people.
Yeah, we're 7 people.
I see.
Mm.
Is there an opportunity to cross Rafah because I think they moved everyone? Is there a way to cross into Egypt right now?
No, at the moment, no. Rafah crossing is completely closed by Israeli side. Our names go to the Israeli government. If they accepted our name, they just let us cross. But at the moment, as I told you, the Rafah
Yeah.
crossing is completely closed. No one can get out from Gaza until the Israeli soldiers get out from it. Israeli soldiers now is in Rafah crossing, so everyone just even get closer to this crossing, he will shot directly.
Wow. My God. With that said, I mean that circumstance can definitely change. I think with the pressure of governments, we still need to raise money for y'all so that when the time is a go, you have the resources you need. When the time, which it will open again, I believe, like with the right pressures of the government, that we need to make sure that y'all have the money to go. Like
Yeah,
when it's a green light that you're able to go. And I think that's really important that it doesn't, the situation can change, but having money is such a freedom. And I think it's extremely important
exactly.
that we as listeners support you on the day to day through just making sure you can eat something besides beans, you know? But beans are yummy, but not every day.
No, they're not. Eating beans for 7 months is not yummy. Trust me.
I know you're so right. And just making sure that like you get the nutrients you need. Everyone deserves nutrients. Everyone deserves water. So just making sure that
Exactly.
we support y'all. We support y'all through the day to day, but we also make sure that we're raising up money for you and all of your families to when the time is gonna come, which it will come again, y'all can leave.
Yes.
And that's what I'm seeing is the best way to help y'all. What other ways can we help y'all?
Just talk about the financial support. Now, please do not stop posting and sharing about what happened here in Gaza, what happened here in Palestine. We need the entire world to know what's happening here. We need just to condemn that Israel is terrorist. Israeli soldiers are war criminals.
Yes, 100%. And we have to be our own media because the media is
Yes, the media is the
bribed.
power, actually. You know about what happened to us by media. When we share, when we post about what happened to us, you know what happened. In that point, you support us.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. The information is not being transferred. You know, there's no news office messing around with anything. This is your experience. You're posting it as it's happening. We have to be the journalists as people.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I also think just even emotional support. Do you like when people reach out to y'all and connect with you, just become friends with y'all? Is that important to you?
Of course, of course. If you share, if you care about what happened to us, it will mean a lot to us because it's the first time the entire world hearing us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in 2014, we weren't able to have a good internet connection or a social media. So the world didn't know about what happened to us in 2014. It was also a war. There was a lot of people also killed. But now the situation is different. This make us happy and give us the power to continue. And when we hear that you are care, you are support us, this give us the power. This time is different, actually, really different.
The last war, like there was no internet.
Yeah, there was not internet connection, and we were young.
Wow. Something is different this time. I think with the power, everyone in the world is standing up, and everyone's not okay with this. Like everyone, every country except for ours. But even
Yes.
with that said, I'm telling you, like everyone on the ground here is not okay with this. It's hard for it's hard to look at the news and maybe feel hopeless, but just to know like the whole at the bottom of my heart, this cannot continue. It will not continue. There's too much power in the people's hands. And there's so much power in
Yes.
your hands. We are not powerless at all. We can I don't know. I feel like I'm going on a big rant. I just the social media is huge. I think that's a big point.
Yeah.
Say what you want about social media, but if anything, it has given me more direct access to people like Sally and Aseel to be able to get the real story, to be able to get the real conditions, the real news about what is going on, because I've turned on the news and they are not saying half of the stuff that you guys have been telling us about your conditions, about the crossing, about what it is you need to survive every single
The
day.
news actually tells the government opinion, not the people opinion.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely. I haven't heard from Aseel in a bit. Aseel, can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you.
What can people do to support you in your eyes?
Even word, even video, even mention, even anything from this in social media can support us, can let more people know about us. They can support us if they share like our GoFundMe link, so we can support our family and can live here in these difficult circumstances and stay strong.
Exactly. And I just think like only a few people in the world can hand over $11,000. But between every single person listening, imagine if there's 500 people that are listening. I'm about to do some math, which I'm not bad at math. Give about $50. Someone put that in the calculator. That's a lot of money. I should probably calculate that. But I'm just saying a bunch of us, all the listeners here, give something. You could be out of there like before you know it. It's very rare for someone to have that much money on us, but as people, as a power, donating anything, that's like it changes lives. It really does. It really can. Something I've learned this year is there's plenty of money in the world. That is the one thing that is not in scarcity, which is a good thing for y'all. We just have to make it work in your favor. And that is by making sure your stories get told.
Yeah.
There's plenty of money out there.
I thank you ladies so much for sharing your story with us, because even myself personally, a lot of people around me aren't really aware of the realities of what you're facing every day. Maybe they have heard of the struggle in Palestine, but I feel like for a lot of Americans, sometimes these things can feel so far away and they don't really know what's true. But you sharing with us directly is a way to show them, like, no, this is exactly what's happening. They don't have clean water. They don't have access to food all the time. And at least food that isn't beans, you know, all these things, like they don't know. And I'm so grateful that you have also enlightened my brain about the situation, because now I know exactly what you're going through. And I swear, people around me are not going to stop hearing about what is happening in Palestine now.
From this point, I started to explain for people about what is happening here. And I used to tell them how we live, like how we live in a small room with 9 people, with a small bathroom, and all the rest of the family lived in tents. I used to explain to them how living in tents is very difficult. 3 months ago, the water was severe. Water used to fall in their heads when they are asleep, and now the heat is raging. The insects fill the place, eating their bodies. The space of the tent is very small, 3 meters by 3 meters, without bathroom. The food and the water here are very contaminated to the point that actually my young sisters and brother was infected with hepatitis A. And
Yes.
it's very difficult here to get like water. For example, my brother goes in the morning for 4 hours looking for a bucket of water for us. The food available is only canned food, and it's very expensive. As you know, here there is no income for families. Families have exhausted all their money. There is no electricity, no internet. Like I'm talking to you from a place 2 kilometers away from where I was displaced, so I can connect to the internet and speak with you.
Mm.
Like here, there is no gasoline. Everyone use fire to cook, and this caused a lot of allergy to our mothers. We woke up in the morning looking for food and drink and go to sleep quickly at night until these
Hmm.
difficult days end. I don't know when they will end, but I hope they will end quickly. But even they end, our lives will remain like this. Engineers from the United Nations, United States, come to us and said that Gaza would need 30 years to be to repair it and to rebuild it. We need
Wow, 50
30
years.
years.
And
Wow.
it will not go back to how it was.
No.
Yeah,
Never.
I used to tell people about these things. And maybe I don't have a lot of internet every day, just 2 hours or 3 hours if I'm so lucky. And I used to tell them how it's difficult. They cannot imagine how it's difficult.
Can't even fathom it. That's why I feel so speechless about it all. How is it that y'all are not intense? How did you get to be able to still have walls around you?
Actually, all my family are in the tents, all
Hmm.
of them. Expect us, my dad friends, Marwan, take us in one room, and he told us, "This is for you, and you can sleep here, you can eat here." And I feel like I'm lucky because I have this thing. All my family
So lucky.
didn't have this. I'm so lucky. All of my family. I'm talking about like 30 families, yeah. And every family you can say they are about 7 to 10 members. We are talking about a huge number of my families are in the tents. I'm the only one live in the room. Just all of them are in the schools. Our schools become like homes for them. They
Hmm.
put their tents in the courtyards of the school, and lays in it.
Wow.
They used
You're
the school
Recently,
as a
I
shelter.
took
a shelter.
yeah
Okay.
recently I took photos. I will send you all of them.
Yes, if you could
Please.
send us pictures and we can share those so
Yeah,
people
yeah.
can see.
So just to clarify, a friend of yours has opened up their space to let you and I think some of your family members stay with them.
You
Um,
can see this picture.
Yes.
wow, that's where your family lives.
These the tent where the
Wow,
people are live. I
everyone's
can
stacked on top of each other. Wow. Well,
And
that
believe me, those people was having a really beautiful houses.
yeah,
Their life was
someone
not like that.
yeah.
of course
They would
not.
have a really, really beautiful houses.
But someone that you know has opened up their space for you. That's beautiful in a way. You know, like the fact that no one has anything, but yeah, y'all are giving. Like that is, I don't know what to say to that. That's beautiful to me.
Yeah, I think even it surprises me more than anything that despite the scarcity in Palestine right now, that whatever people do have, they are willing to share. And even how they're describing the conditions, how everyone's saying, like, hey, let's stay strong, we'll get through this. Like, this kind of attitude among so many people, despite all the harsh circumstances, it really shows the spirit of the Palestinian people is strong. And I pray for you guys that one day you will be able to continue your lives, that you'll be able to continue your school. You'll overcome these hard circumstances. I do think that right now, one of the biggest things that people can do to help is one, don't stop talking about it, and two, donate directly to these amazing ladies who have had a lot of beautiful opportunities taken away from them, unjustly so. So we will make sure to include those links in the show notes below. And thank you so much, Sally. Thank you so much, Aseel.
Thank
Your
you so much,
stories.
guys. We were so happy being here today. Thank you for inviting us to your podcast. You are really amazing. And thank you so much for your interest to know about us and what happened to us. Really, thank you so much.
Your stories are really inspirational, and I'm sure this will get to the right people to help you with your cause.
Yes. We have many people listening. So
Thank you a lot.
thank you again, Sally, Aseel, and Andrea, for conducting this interview. It was also just really nice to actually meet and talk in person and not just over the DMs. So this was such a special treat. And for anyone who is listening, I know this was a very overwhelming listen. I suggest maybe going on a walk after, meditating, journaling, just trying to really process, what Sally and Aseel are saying about the situation. And I know the videos that we're seeing come out of Gaza, and just hearing these stories, it can feel hopeless, but it's not hopeless. You are the hope. Like, it sounds like a cheesy thing you hear from like a Star Wars movie, but it's so dead serious. We all are hope for the Palestinian people. And you can hear, as Sally was saying, like just seeing all post gives them hope. Seeing those people walk out of their graduations give them hope. Seeing our protests gives them hope. You can support them by keep posting about what's happening. We have to be our own journalists because God knows what the media is projecting out into the world is not accurate at all. And they definitely have an agenda. So actually posting on the ground stories, posting this episode to people, sharing these real people's stories, that's being your own journalist. That's taking control of the situation. That's giving hope to the situation. We have to be our own journalists. We have to be our own source of truth. We have to be our own hope. And also, you can donate to them at any capacity that you can. Literally anything helps. Anything helps. We really want to set them up to be ready to leave the minute the borders do open again. And as you were hearing, it's over $5,000 a person. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, as one person, it does feel pretty powerless. But imagine if there's 100 of y'all listening and 100 of us are posting and donate what we can change their lives. As a group, as a collective, we can change and alter lives. And if you don't believe me, scroll down and go to the El Salvador episode from a few seasons ago. And there is a story I covered about a man named Jose Arturo Contreras. That is a story about one man from El Salvador who defied his government and saved the lives of 40,000 Jewish people in the Holocaust. One man. Not all of us are that heroic. That is incredible. But I'm just saying, like, we all can do something. Don't let that be an excuse. And if it becomes overwhelming, what I try to do is not look at the entire genocide as a whole, because it does get overwhelming and I just want to sit down and lay down and cry. But I've chosen to focus my energy on Sally and Aseel. And you can too. Maybe just focusing your energy and your love and your control on these two people right here who you can reach out to and you can help. We can make a difference. So whether that is donating to Sally and Aseel to help getting them food, getting them across the borders when they open, or be a badass and keep protesting, keep telling our governments that we're not fucking okay with them using our hard-earned tax dollars in the name of blood and murder under the oppressor of Israel. We have power in our numbers. Keep fucking boycotting companies like Starbucks. It works. Keep protesting. Keep walking out of our graduations. We can change lives and collectively the world. And if you think that's bullshit, how do you think women have gotten their rights? Through marches. How did Black people get the rights that they have today? Through fucking marches, through the Black Panther Party, through protesting, through leaders like MLK, through people like you and me that went on marches, that boycotted. We as a collective have so much power. Look through history and you will see that that works. And we are living through a historical moment right now. So who the fuck are you going to be? Honestly, are you going to look back and tell your kids, yeah, I was passive. I just let terrors of the earth take over and I didn't do anything. I was weak. Or are you going to say, I did everything I possibly could. I helped these two girls, Sally and Aseel, live the rest of their lives in peace. Next time you're watching one of those movies about the Holocaust, people love to watch those movies, and you watch these freedom fighters of the Holocaust fight against the Nazis, and you think, I probably would be like them. I bet you I'd be like one of those heroes. Well, now is the time to prove it. Who are you going to be in history? we as a people are not powerless. We can change the world, and we could definitely change Sally and Aseel's lives as a collective. So with that said, their GoFundMe's will be in the show notes to donate. If you would like to connect with them and show them love, please DM me on Instagram at culturecultshow, and I can pass on the information. Again, if you're going to connect with them, only show love, only show positivity, be a support system for them. On a brighter note, Sally just informed me that she and her family have found a 3-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms and a kitchen and a backyard. Like, that's insane in a time like this. She is going to be able to leave the cramped space of living in a room with dozens of people, including her family, and getting to live in a normal household with 2 bathrooms, privacy, a kitchen, a backyard, some space. That is incredible. The rent is $900, which, as she was saying, there's no possible way people in Palestine are able to create some sort of living. So they are living off of their savings or the money that people are able to give to them. So if you would like to donate and help out her family and for her rent, again, the GoFundMe will be in the show notes. Unfortunately, she was saying she doesn't know she'll have internet there. I know that's kind of scary because that's how we've been communicating. So the best way you can support her will have to be GoFundMe. Maybe after this week, after this episode post, I don't know if I'll have access to talk to her or if you will either. I know this was a really, really heavy episode. I'm proud of y'all for listening to this. I'm proud of y'all for wanting to make a difference in general. If you do want to take a little space, connect with yourself again, go on a walk, go on a run, do a meditation. I actually have an episode called A Meditation and Prayer for Palestine that is a more getting in tune with yourself episode. If you'd like to check that out, if that's going to help you. But to end this episode on a lighter note, Sally and Aseel have sent me their favorite Palestinian songs. I'm going to go ahead and add one of mine too. Actually, the song that I'm going to add in as the second song is a band from Lebanon. And it's a very powerful song that was about resistance between Israel in the 1985 to 2000 attacks. So I actually thought it was about Palestine, but Sally told me that it was about Lebanon. And she says, quote, "My dad told me that Israelis did not content themselves with displacing Palestinians from their land to refugee camps to Lebanon, but they also followed them there and killed them, such as the Sabra and Shatila massacre." The link to that massacre and the information about what the song is about will be in the show notes, but it's a very powerful song. Highly recommend you watching the YouTube video about a family being displaced by the IDF Israeli soldiers. And it's also a bop. So that will be my second song. Just want to preference, it is not a Palestinian band. It is a group from Beirut, Lebanon. As I'm posting it right now, Aseel hasn't messaged me back with her favorite song, but I will update it the minute I do get her song. And lastly, this is just a personal note to Sally and Aseel. If you are listening, I know we are a million miles away. We live very different lives, and your whole life you have been threatened to be behind walls, and you are currently living behind walls and guns and oppressors. I know we are not the same in that way, but I know we are the same. Like, we're both human. We both breathe the same air. We both need the same oxygen. We both need the same water. We both have the same blood in our systems. And we all, 3 of us, deserve to live. I believe God, Allah, the universe, whatever we believe in, has put us in touch with each other. And I don't know why yet, but it's a divine intervention that we have met. And you somehow found my tiny Instagram page with like 700 followers. Like, I'm not very reachable. And you somehow found me and you DM'd me. Not to mention, y'all both know each other. This is just some sort of divine intervention. We were meant to be in each other's lives. I don't know what the purpose of us meeting will be, but I know that we were once strangers and now we're slowly becoming friends. And I love sending music to each other. I love keeping up with each other's days. And I just can't wait for the day that we are able to meet. And I just can't wait for that day where I can just spoil y'all and shower y'all with a shopping day and just take you out to the biggest, baddest dinner, stuff our faces, and then maybe go to a live music show, go dancing or go swim in the ocean. I can't wait for the day that I actually get to see y'all. And maybe, Aseel, you can do my damn teeth. Maybe you can be my dentist. Just fun things like that. I just know one day we actually will meet and just keep the fucking hope alive. Israel does not get to take that away from you. They've taken your home away, your family members away, your country away, but they don't get to take your hope away. That is something you get to keep alive. And you have to keep that alive for your country and for your people. And you have to keep going. You have to keep up the hope because we are going to meet one day. We will meet one day in person. We will meet my friends one day.
يا طالعين عين للجبل يا مول للموقدين النار بين لليمن يمن عين للهنا يا روح ما بدي منكي لكم خلعة ولا لا 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 بدي زنار بين لليمن يمن عين للهنا يا روح إلا غزال اللي ذي جوين لليكم محبوس بين لليمن يمن عين للهنا يا روح ما بدي منكي لكم خلعة ولا لا 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 بدي ملبوس بين لليمن يمن عين للهنا يا روح الحلم اللي كان رح يفتح باب الدكان بكرة منرجع زي زمان وتصيروا تيجوا عنا شعبنا جبار ما نسيوا مفتاح الدار كبروا أطفال الحجار وبحوا ريحة الحارة مشتاقة أرجع عند ترابك يا أقصانا أوصل بابك ونتلاقى نحضن أهلنا نطمن أطفالنا في بلاد السلام شاملي لالي يا ويلي لالي شاملي لالي يا ويلي علي لالي وابولو رب تفتح شاملي لالي يا ويلي وانا الليلة يبعد معي الليلة ريح الشمالي لالي يا ويلي يا صيلي لالي يا ويلي على يحملي لابا يا ويلي Last night I had a dream in the land of olive trees from the river to the sea my people tasted freedom soon those hellish skies turn to blue and starry nights as our voices start to rise we're ending an apartheid hold on just a little longer we're going home just a little longer hold on glory's round the corner we're going home with our waving flag يا طالعين عين للجبل يا مول لموقدين النار بين لليمن يمن عين للهنا يا روح إلا غزال اللي ذي جوين لليكم ميدوم بين لليمن يمن عين للهنا يا روح
إياك التطوس بالعروش الطغيان يزاهر عصيان لو رح أموت 100 مرة رح أعود 100 مرة مصقول الحسام أتصفى جيشا يشبهني نلتحم ببعض ونستعصي جيشكم عليه مش حيقدر لي ما بتقدر على قلبي مش حتقدر لي في قاع كل شاهق تربتي أنبتوا مسطول الأقلام الجبال حملوها بدأوا بحصاها حتى أنجزوا أقوم عليه مش حيقدر ليك ما بتقدر على قلبي مش حتقدر ليك جيشك فاق قلبي مش حتكسرني جيشك فاق قلبي مش حتكسرني
على عهدي على ديني على أرض تلاقيني أنا لأهلي أنا فديهم أنا دمي فلسطيني 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 أنا دمي فلسطيني على أرض تلاقيني أنا لأهلي أنا فديهم والله أنا دمي فلسطيني 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 أنا دمي فلسطيني أنا دمي فلسطيني أنا أهلي أنا فديهم أنا دمي فلسطيني 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 أنا دمي فلسطيني أنا دمي فلسطيني